Hey ladies, it is Peta, Sal and Sue here from Strong Healthy Women, and today we are sharing with you our best tips on how to restart an exercise program when life has got in the road. And let's face it, life does get in the road for all of us. Now, quite often what will happen is we will see on social media all of those glamorous coaches who we look like and feel like they've got everything going on and that they are 100% on track all of the time. But guess what? We are all human and we are not perfect, and we do get off track, and life happens to us just as much as it happens to you as well too. And so today we are sharing what's been happening behind the scenes in our lives. And what we're going to do is we're going to start off with Sue today. So Sue, tell us a little bit about what's been going on and what you've done to help get yourself back on track.
Okay, well, the biggest thing for me over the last, probably 6 months is that we decided to sell our home and move back to be closer to family. So I was okay up until the point of selling, and then we got into an idea where we had to come up every Saturday and have a look for properties to buy and things like that. So Saturday exercising went out the window, and then as we got closer it was packing, and just life was very unsettled. And then the move, and we've been here about 2.5 weeks now, but it has really put everything out of kilter in terms of routine. And so I haven't been exercising as much. I've really, let that go. Okay, lifting boxes and that, but it's not the same thing. So for me, life just got completely off track, but I didn't actually beat myself up about that. I just accepted the fact that, okay, life's a little bit out of kilter at the moment. I'll do what I can, and let's just get settled. And that's where I am now. So then what I did was, one, accepted the fact that that's what was happening. But then over the last week, I've said to myself, well, I can keep making excuses, or I can just say, all right, I'll just do a little bit and make a start. And that's what I did. And then I saw that you were having the energy
challenge. Yeah.
And I thought, great, because I was feeling quite tired, and moving is big, and I thought I was fit, but obviously even fit people feel it. So that came at the right time. So I've been, I think that was good, because sometimes you can't do it on your own. You need someone else to be helping you along. So that's what's been going in my world, lots of upheaval and change, which can be daunting and overwhelming anyway. But I do find that the last week that I've got back into, not probably as much as what I have been doing, but I've made that start, I'm feeling a lot better within myself, and I've got more energy.
Yeah, there's some great things that you commented on there, Sue. Firstly, that you had to pack, and so you were lifting lots of boxes and doing a lot of physical activity. For many of us, we would think that is enough exercise, and you alluded to the fact that it wasn't the same. Do you want to elaborate on the difference between that incidental type movement and the more structured type of exercise, and what differences you find for yourself when you're doing something like that?
Yeah. Well, first of all, if I hadn't been doing Strong Healthy Women or my regular strength training, I wouldn't have been lifting the boxes. And I could, I could see a difference from when we moved down the coast. I was pretty useless helping with that move. But moving from the coast back up, taking the sessions, doing the sessions, I've my strength's come back. So that's good. And I was lifting big boxes and that sort of thing. But that is just intermittent, you know, like it was, it's not the same as doing, say, I don't know, even a 30-minute workout, or because that's sustained, you're moving for a sustained period of time. And for me, that's what I need to keep my fitness level up. And also, I suppose you need that combination of all the different areas of exercise, like the strength training, which I wouldn't have been able to be much use if I couldn't lift boxes and reach up and get things down from the cupboards. And, you know, I think my husband was pretty impressed that I was keeping up with him and my son-in-law, you know. But so, you know, I couldn't have done that without the strength training. And then going up and down stairs, I couldn't do that unless I've done my fast fit or things like that to get the heart rate going. So having that structured exercise just helps your fitness level to then be able to do those incidental things that you need to do. But you might think, I'll just go for a stroll or I'll just do this. It's not enough. You've got to really get your body, well, not push it, but you've got to challenge your body to get that fitness. And that's what I need to do. So having that structured workout with the various parts helps me then to live my daily life.
Yeah, and so often we think about that, or we focus on one particular exercise or one particular type of process that we go through, and the reality is that our body needs strength, it needs stability, it needs flexibility, mobility, you know, balance, all of those things. And so our exercise program needs to have all of those things in it. So you've got back into some level of routine. So you've joined the 5-day energy challenge, but what was that turning point? So you've gone, I need to do this one thing. And what is that one thing that you are now doing?
Okay, well, first of all, even our meals went out the window because we were displaced for a few days. So we had, you know, we'd booked into a hotel or something for a few days. So, you know, you can't get, you try to eat healthy, but that was that. And water I wasn't drinking enough of, and I haven't for a while. So I just started with a couple of things. First of all, I just said, I'm going to start. And even if I only do 5 minutes, I've got to get in my mind that, hey, I've done something and I'm back on track with that, and I wrote it down, I can tick it off. And then I started to make a conscious effort with the water, because I think probably for me, if I can get a couple of little habits going again, rather than trying to say, well, off I go, I'm going to do my 10K run that I normally do, and I haven't run for a couple of months, you know, I'll get disappointed with that, so, and overwhelmed. So I've just set a couple of things, get back to my strength training and drink more water. And once I get those two into you know, a habit, and every day I'll add something else in. But they're the two areas that I focus on, just starting and drinking more water, because I don't drink enough.
So is it just, it's walking that you started doing? So you've just started doing the walking? Was that the primary?
No, I've started doing the Strong Healthy Women Fit Flex. So that's the you know, the sessions that we do. So that's your strength, and we do, as you know, there's flexibility and balance and all that in there. And then I've just tried to say I'll go for a walk, but I'm not doing that every day. I'm just, I think basically what I'm trying to do is move every day, but not put the pressure on myself, but just say I've got to move every day and I've got to drink my water.
Beautiful. Yeah. two great ways to actually give yourself a lot more energy in your body, because it's changing that physiology. And so, yeah, you definitely will feel better just simply because you are focusing on hydrating your body and moving your body. So great stuff. Yeah, great stuff. Okay, Sal, you've been sitting there so patiently. Let's talk about you. So what's been happening in your life? So what's been happening, and, you know, what was that pivotal moment for you, and what have you decided that you're going to start doing?
So the thing that's happened in my life, and it's been major for us, is my mum passed. Yeah. Sorry, ladies. You know, Peter, you would know how close we were with our mum. And it was very, very, very sudden. From when she was told to when she passed. And those days after she passed, even during that time, I just sort of, I think, shut off. And it was just, you know, I would just lay on the couch and I'd be crying and didn't want to do anything.
Yes.
And I didn't do anything. Because every thought was about her, and it was consuming everything. And it was probably early August. Mum passed in June, and it was early August. And I thought, okay, I need to do something.
Yeah.
Because what I noticed for myself, you know, hiding on the couch and hiding in my house, was that my mobility and my flexibility dropped so much, despite how much I do, like with Strong Healthy Women and that sort of thing. And, you know, I'd get off the couch, you know, just say I would get off the couch and go to the bathroom, and I'm walking up the stairs and holding onto the stairs, and even just getting off the couch, and, you know, my lower back was starting to hurt. And I thought, you know, what am I doing? My thought then turned to my children.
Yes.
Because I need to be here for my children. I'm very aware of now of how much time we have. And I thought, you know, I need to do something. So I actually went out and I bought myself a little book.
Yeah. And
I sat down and I wrote 2 pages, a 2-page plan for the next 6 months, and what my goals are for each month. And then I broke it down to what I'm doing each month. So, you know, this past month, my only focus has been walking and water, because I know for myself, after I had my last child, Olivia, you know, that was 17 years ago, I hit like 98 kilos, 96 kilos. And what worked for me was just starting to walk, and I noticed the weight starting to drop off. So I've taken it back to my basics.
Yes.
And to what I know I will stick to. So for this month, it's walking and water.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, firstly, Sal, you know, we are so sorry that Barb has left, you know, this earth that we're on, and that she was such a big part of you know, your life, and you know, she always made people around her smile and everything as well too. So you know, and when things like that happen in life, you know, we never know how we're going to react to them, and each of us is going to be different in the reaction that we have. And all we can do is allow ourselves that time and space that we need to go through that process. And, you know, it is an ongoing process. You know, there are days now, 13 years after my sister has gone, that, you know, I go to pick up the phone still and ring her, knowing quite well that she isn't here. So, you know, we go through those things, and when we do, we think that there's no end in sight, but we learn how to adapt and, you know, continue with life. But what I love so much about what you said there, Sal, is that you focused on the lesson that you've taken from this. And that lesson is that life is short and it's here for us. And what we do with it is entirely up to us. And that you found a reason to actually do something. So you went, okay, I know how close I was with my mum. This is you. So I know how close I was with my mum. And I personally know how close your children are with you. And so you're going, I want to be here for as long as I can for my children. So, and I want to participate actively in their life. So therefore, I know that I need to do something. And so you know what has worked for you in the past, and you know that that was just focusing on water and doing some walking. So, and that's what you've gone back to. Now, sometimes those things that we've done in the past may not work for us now as well too. And so what we do is, you know, if we go to what we've done in the past, and, you know, we give it that time to actually see whether it's making a difference for us. And if it is, then we continue doing it. But if it isn't, we go, well, hang on a minute, what else can I do? And I think that's important as well, to continually be reassessing what's happening for us and how we're feeling. So I'm going to ask you this next question then. How are you feeling now since you've been walking and being more conscious of drinking water?
I know I have more energy.
Yes.
During the day. I'm not, you know, when mum passed and, you know, comfort was on the couch or in the bed or whatever, the amount of sleeping I was doing, because when you sleep, you don't have to think about anything, you know.
Yes.
And so now I know, like with the walking and the water, my energy has increased.
Yeah.
You know. And I just want to say, as I said, I've got a book and I've got my plan and I've written everything down. Another reason why I chose for this first month just to focus on walking and water was I wanted to bring it back to basics, but I also didn't want to overload it with everything else. Like, you know, as a trainer, I know how important strength training is.
Yes.
As a trainer, I know how important eating good foods are. And by all means, I'm not just, you know, going for a walk, drinking water and then hopping off to McDonald's and eating rubbish.
Yeah.
But I also knew for myself, if I went, okay, well, my plan for my first month is I'm going to walk, I'm going to do water, I'm going to strength train 3 weeks, I'm going to eat, you know, strength train 3 times a week, I'm going to eat great, I'd be off the wagon in a week.
Oh, totally. Because it's too much.
Because my mind at the moment is just, it was just too much. And I know for myself, you know, even now, you know, my brain is still in a little bit of a fog. I have so many thoughts in my mind. So I wanted to make it easy for me, for something that I knew that I could stick to. So, you know, my first month was, as I said, is walking and water. Next month, my plan is strength training. I'm going to incorporate that into my week.
Yeah, exactly. And that's really important, is that what happens is that we think and we look at it as going, there's so much that I need to do. And so that in itself can be a real deterrent for us, because it feels so overwhelming to actually get back to it. And that's where coming back to these foundations of what works and what feels right for us is so important. So I've had a crazy 6 months with what's been happening in my life with Paul's health, and it was a very serious thing, and then having COVID on top of that as well too certainly impacted how life was going for us. Plus we also have some family issues that we're delving and dealing with at the moment. And then trying to actually stay on top of the business, and taking care of our clients and everything like that. There's all that added pressure. And so with Paul's health, it meant that a lot of the stuff around the farm, I needed to pick up a lot of that. So my whole routine needed to be reassessed and readjusted. And I know that, there were things that had to give, because I just couldn't do it all. I was just going to end up killing myself and ending up under more stress and pressure. So I did need to go, well, what can I do? What can't I do? And so in going through all of those things, I really started to focus on what was important to me. And I wanted to, and I did notice that my strength, even though it was still there, because I was still strength training and I was still walking and I was doing all the things that I normally would do, but I noticed the energy wasn't there. So, not when you're under stress, it can really drain you. It can zap you, and you do want to stay in bed and you want to pull the covers up over your head. But sometimes you just have to drag yourself out of bed and get on with it, put on the happy face. But there are times where you find those windows and you go, well, guess what? I'm just going to sit in my room and I'm just going to lay here and I'm not going to do anything. Or what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a walk up the mountain or something or other and get myself in nature, because I know for me, nature just nurtures me so much that it really makes me feel so much better. But I did identify that, my strength was declining. And even though I'm lifting, 20 kilo bags of hay, very similar to Sue, packing boxes and doing all of those things, it's still not the same as that structured exercise. And even though I was doing it, I wasn't doing it as often as I was. And I thought to myself, well, I'm aware of this. What am I going to do? And so I decided I wanted to do push-ups, like really good push-ups, like you see on social media, some of those guys and some of those really, really fit girls, where they've got their chest to the ground and they're just powering it up. And I went, this is the one thing that I know that I'm not as strong in my upper body as my lower body, and I'd really like to do that. And I remember some years back where I wanted to be able to do pull-ups, and I just focused at it. It took me forever, but I got there in the end. And so I went, I want to do those really cool push-ups. And so I've just been doing one. I started on one day and I went, I'm doing one push-up. And then I'm doing on the second day 2 push-ups and then 3 push-ups. And so I've just been adding 1 extra push-up per day. But the critical thing for me was, when am I going to do that in amongst everything else that I've got going on? And so I went, I'm going to do it mid-morning just before, because I always take a break mid-morning and go and have a cup of tea. And so I thought, I'm going to do it just before that break. I'm going to do my push-ups just then. And so I found a way of slotting it into the routine where I could do it regularly and do it each day. And, you know, there have been days when I've missed my number, but I don't actually go beat myself up in any way, shape or form. I just go, oh, well, I missed it, and I'm just going to pick up the number the next time. So that's one aspect of what's been happening for me, as far as getting back on track. And then the other thing was that I mentioned getting out to the mountain, and I haven't been getting there as much as I would love to. And so I went, I'm going to start finding those windows where I can get that into my routine, you know, 2 or 3 times a week. And just the difference that it has made to how I'm feeling and how I'm handling things, it has had a massive, massive difference for me personally. But one of the things that I was thinking about, and I was ruffling around there for it, was remember in the beginning of the year we released this guide, the Goal Getting and Habit Stacking Guide. And I was thinking about that as I was going, because I love this guide, because what you're doing is you're just doing something each day, and you cross it off as you do it. And I think all 3 of us have alluded to that today, is that we picked that one thing that we're doing, and we're doing it consistently. And it's the small thing that we do consistently that will have the biggest reward. So one of the things that I know, Sal, when you first mentioned that you were going to get recommitted, restarted to yourself and what you wanted, when you first said it, you said, I'm going to drink water and I'm going to move more. But then the next time we met and we were chatting about it, you said, I'm having water, but I'm walking. So you had naturally upgraded your mindset and how you were perceiving it, which means that what we do is when we make that small change, that small adjustment, take that small step, it has that roll-on effect, and it means that we start making better choices for ourselves. So there are so many lessons that in what we've said today, like not beating yourself up, giving yourself time, taking small steps, being consistent. They're all winners, totally all winners.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sal, is there anything you'd like to wrap up on?
I do want to wrap up with like one piece of advice, and we all use it. You know, we use it with Strong Healthy Women.
Yes.
And you know, Peta, you're doing your push-up challenge. Sue, yours water and is you're running. You're getting back into your running. Mine is water and walking. When you are on social media, and I have certain people that I follow,
yes.
You know, other trainers, that sort of thing. Remember, everything, it's not an illusion, but I think that's what we look at it and we go, oh my God, they're doing all this stuff. I need to do it all because they're doing it. And I love this person. So I need to do the 27 things that they do a day, because look how wonderful it all looks.
Yes.
And as we've said today, you know, behind the scenes, we have all struggled this year, big time, you know, and it's, and we've all struggled in different ways, you know. Peta, it's the health of Paul and having to, you know, take over different things in the farm. Sue, you've had a major city change. You're not a sea change, a city change.
Yeah.
And I did did notice with you, Sue, yesterday, I noticed in your face how much more relaxed you look.
Yes.
Being where you are, you know. And for me, it was, I'm in grief. So when you are on social media and you are seeing those people that you follow doing 1,000 things a day, you don't have to. Just do that one or two thing that you can do.
Great advice. Great advice. What about you, Sue? Anything you'd like to wrap up with?
Well, just quickly, do it. Make a start. Make a start, because you will feel good. Like this morning, I got up and I didn't really feel like doing something, but I did it and I just felt so good after. So try and make a start, as we said, little steps. And as Sal said then, don't compare yourself. It's whatever you're doing, it's your plan, not what I'm doing or Peter or Sal or anybody else in the world. So that's that. Stick to your plan that works for you and do it. Make a start. But also celebrate that you've actually gone out and done something. And I don't mean you have to, go and buy something or anything like that, but just feel that satisfaction that you feel after you've done something that perhaps you really didn't want to do, or you didn't feel like it, but you thought, no, it's good for me, I'm going to try it. And that high that you feel after it, and that satisfaction, and to say, I've done this. And even if it was only drinking 2 glasses of water today when I haven't been drinking water at all, celebrate when you do achieve things, no matter how small they are, because that will make you feel satisfied. It will help you to keep going, and you'll find that after a while, you're back to where you were. But they're just a couple of things I'd like people to just sort of think about when they're starting off again.
So just start and celebrate. I do like celebrate. It's one of the things that us girls tend not to do for ourselves. And, every Saturday we have a connection zone where what happens is the ladies who want that extra support and accountability come in, and we talk about what's been going on in their lives. And I always say, we always start off with, what was the biggest win? What did you win on this week? It doesn't matter what it is. And I think particularly if we can go to bed of a night time, thinking about that win that we've had during the day, it also helps us sleep a lot better as well too. So it gives us a more positive mindset. And when we're feeling that little bit better, it means that life is better, sleep is better, everything just seems a whole lot better. And look, we're not talking about celebrating and going out and having chocolate cake every day or, all of those things. But it could just be your form of celebration. You might be someone who just goes, woohoo, and give yourself a big woohoo when you finish, type of thing. Or you might be the silent celebrator. It doesn't matter, but it is always about you. And I really love that Sal brought up social media, because really, when you see these things, they are, they're putting their best foot forward. They're showing you their best foot. Whereas what is really important here is that we are all doing life, and we all have ups and downs. It is a roller coaster. We're going to have good bits, we're going to have bad bits, and we're going to have like really horrible bits as well too. And so what we want to do is build a good foundation so that we have something that we always come back to, even if it is that one thing where we drink a glass of water in the morning. That one thing is at least keeping you on track in some way, shape, or form. And that in itself is going to always be that reminder that you can do that little bit more when you're ready to do that little bit more. And so it's really important that we just get started when we're ready, And if we need help and support, we reach out and get help and support along the way, and we celebrate each and every day what we've achieved. And it doesn't have to be around health and fitness. It could be around something entirely different, because life is made up of lots of different aspects. It is not just about health and fitness, but we all know that when we feel healthy, when we're more fit, we are able to cope with life. And I was thinking about what Sel mentioned, in that she has stayed inside and she's been noticing that her mobility and her flexibility is declining. I see that in my mum, because, you know, I spend, you know, each week with her running around doing lots of different things. And I saw it with my grandmother, how the walls around us become smaller because we can't move. And so when we can get up and do something, we help ourselves each and every day to be able to live our lives more energetically, and to be able to participate and play with the people that are important to us, because we all have those significant people in our lives. So thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
Pleasure.
Absolutely. So I hope, ladies, that you've got something out of our discussion today. And by all means, if you need that extra little bit of support and accountability, please feel free to just reach out to one of us, and we'll be able to help you along the way as well too. All right, so take care, everybody, and we will see you all very soon. Bye for now. Bye, girls.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.